It is time to welcome our very first guest in a segment we call Pawparazzi. Well, Hailey Adair is the owner and personal trainer for a very special celebrity, Darrel the Doge. Hailey adopted Darrel as a rescue dog, and for the past couple of years, Darrel and Hailey have been on an amazing journey, even recently with an appearance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. We're so excited to have Hailey and Darrel joining us from Seattle, Washington. Hello to both of you.
Hello, good to see you.
Thank you. Now I see we have Darrel here, and then is that a Darrel pillow as well next to you?
Yeah, we may have some Darrel art around our apartment.
So cute. I can see why. So tell us a little bit, before we get into more on Darrel, let's go back to the beginning here. Tell us where your love for dogs comes from.
So actually, I grew up with cats. I had 2 cats when I was younger and always was very jealous of people who had dogs. All my friends did.
Oh.
And so you can imagine the day that my parents came home and told me that we were adopting a dog.
Oh.
Now, we actually, as a family, had adopted Alaskan Malamutes from the time I was younger. So I was introduced to big dogs at a very young age. But when my husband and I got engaged a couple years ago, we decided one of our first things we wanted to do was adopt our very own dog.
And that's where Darrel comes in, I'm guessing.
That's where Darrel comes in.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'd been looking for kind of trying to compromise because my husband loved golden retrievers. He always had golden retrievers growing up. I love corgis because, I mean,
who
corgis. And we were so excited when one of my coworkers told us about a litter that was looking for adoption for the rescue that she volunteered for. And we saw this video of all these puppies running around, just, you know, like little puppies do. Yeah. And this one dog sitting in the corner, just staring at the wall. And right away, we were like, he's the one. We need him. And come to find out, he was a golden retriever corgi. However, a couple years later, his legs never stopped growing. So he didn't have any, we didn't think he had any corgi in him.
Okay. Okay, so breed, do you know what Darrel is?
Yeah, we had to take one of the DNA tests because we just needed to know.
Yep.
And found out that he is a super mutt, a pit bull, Pyrenees collie, Australian shepherd, cattle dog, cocker spaniel, the list goes on. He's just Darrel breed. He's his own breed.
And he is cute. He is so cute.
Yeah, I'm biased, but I do think he's the cutest dog I've ever seen.
I mean, seriously, he's really cute. And so I can understand why people at work wanted you to, you know, bring him around. You got to do something that most dog moms would dream about doing. You got to bring him to work with you. You work for the Alzheimer's Association. Tell us how that all came to be.
Yeah, so our office was dog friendly, and I always dreamed of bringing my own dog. Other people had dogs that they brought in, and it was just such a nice feeling of comfort to have dogs around the office. They were all very well trained, of course, so I had big shoes to fill once we had a couple of our dogs leave. And I brought Darrel in as a 2-month-old puppy, which was probably the worst idea. If anybody ever wants to have an office dog, don't adopt a puppy and bring them in because it is not easy. But with that being said, he was kind of an old soul, honestly, from the time he was little, and was just an absolute cuddler. He went through a puppy phase, but I don't remember very much of him misbehaving while we were in the office. He was a really, really good puppy. And but it was very hard to have a puppy in the office. He's always been like the front desk greeter, and he actually learned a lot of things coming to the office when he was really young that were super beneficial when he got older.
Very cool. Okay, so then COVID hit. That changed things, right? So then you went home, I'm guessing. How did he handle that routine? How did you handle that routine? The two of you?
It was so hard.
Yeah.
We were so used to going in every single day. He was getting his socialization every single day. It was a place for us to get out and explore and get all the sniffs in. And so it was an absolute he was so confused, and we just didn't leave one morning. So of course, both of us were very bored and started to find that he was really an extreme, we knew he was a smart dog, but he was really smart.
Yeah.
So we took his love for treats and his love for affection and put it to work with some of our side hobbies like training and positive reinforcement.
Wow. Okay. You even taught him to ride a skateboard. I love these videos. They are so cool. Or did he teach himself? Like, how did this work? Who taught who here?
So yeah, so like any normal person, we ended up buying our dog a skateboard.
Right.
And gave it to him to kind of get comfortable with. One of the key things that I always do with him is whenever we're introducing a new prop or like a new toy or something, I always let him sniff it out, get comfortable with it. And for the skateboard, I wanted to make sure we set him up for success. So I made sure to hold on to it so he wasn't like, you know, jumping on it right away and freaking himself out. But right away I could tell he didn't care that it was moving. Like he was excited about it. He wanted to push it. And we, of course, were stuck inside. So our kitchen became the skate park. And hopefully my landlord isn't listening to this. But he went back and forth in the kitchen. I had to be the brake for him because he was trying to push it so quickly. And one of the things that I did wrong was I actually ordered a toy skateboard instead of a regular skateboard. So he's kind of long.
Yeah, he like needs the real thing.
He needs the real thing.
Yeah.
So we had to upgrade pretty quickly, but with the toy skateboard, he was able to teach himself to push with the 2 feet behind, which was pretty adorable. And it set him up for success when we moved him to a full-on skateboard about a month later.
Wow. Okay, cool. So obviously the two of you must be able to communicate pretty well with each other. How did you learn to communicate with Darrel and get him to, you know, try new things? Do you got any secrets to this that other dog owners can utilize?
Yeah. So one of the things I do like to say is I'm a professional Darrel trainer, not a professional dog trainer. I have not gone through any certifications, but I've done a lot of like studying and worked with other dogs that stay with us and other things. So it's totally a fun side project. But he and I have been together since he was 2 months old. So I have gotten to pick up on all of his cues and his body language and everything from the time he was a little puppy. So his needs, and just when he was so young, I was able to pick up on what he needed, what made him uncomfortable, and really try to tune into those things when I'm working with him. So if he starts to show that he's in an uncomfortable place, or his body language tells me, you know, his ears are back, or he's panting or licking his lips or something like that, then I'll know to step back or bring him somewhere where he can get a little bit more comfortable.
So you know your dog. You're his mama, right?
Absolutely. We have our own language. He knows a couple human words, but you know, like all the way up or down or sit or whatever, so that we can have a foundation for learning some of these tricks. But I swear he understands English sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, he does have some human-like qualities, right? Is he wearing glasses on that pillow that I see there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He is wearing glasses and a hat.
That's amazing. Oh, and a hat. That's amazing. Okay, so tell us a little bit about the progression of learning for Darrel. So then you were adding new tricks, right? So he knows how to ride a skateboard at this point, but now, I mean, like Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, I mean, he's picking up steam here.
Yeah, so we had a lot of fun during lockdown, being creative and testing out new tricks. We started out with like simple things, kind of jumping through the hoop. I would lure him through my arms with treats. We would try out, you know, just basic rollover. And once we conquered all kind of the basic tricks, we started to work on more challenging ones. So we started with the skateboard, and then so Seattle got a hockey team a couple years ago, and we are both big time hockey fans. So we decided that we would try out hockey, because I mean, why not? We found a little toy stick, and he learned it within probably a couple months of just hitting the ball into a little cup. And the way that he looks back at me whenever he scores is just like, did I do it right? It's just the sweetest thing I've ever seen. And the past couple months, we've had a lot of fun trying out new sports. and including a couple that he's made up on his own, or at least, you know, tried to do something, tried to understand what I'm saying, and he gets creative when he's trying to figure out what I'm saying. And so for last month, June, was Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month, and one of the things we did actually to raise awareness for my work was learn or try, I guess, a sport a day.
That is really, really cool. So tell us a little bit more about that, of course. And I want to know more about all of your interesting adventures together. You guys have done some really cool things.
Yeah. So we tested out a different sport every single day. We asked some of our followers about, you know, what they wanted to see. And so we were challenged to try out and stretch our mind a little bit, because it's hard to even name that many sports. And so we tried out a new one every day. It was really fun, and just got to, you know, try and see what he loved to do and what he didn't love so much. But so we've had so many great experiences together. As you mentioned before, we were on the Jimmy Fallon show. Earlier this year, we got to be on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and we had initially actually been asked early last year, and I turned it down because we had just been in a car crash. And he was a little bit scared of like even being in the car. So the thought of having to travel somewhere and being on a plane for 8 hours was just not even a question. I was not going to live through that. So we had to turn them down, which is hard for me, because it was like, you know, that's a dream come true.
Right.
But I was looking out for his best interest and decided that I wouldn't do it. But it allowed us to practice some of the things that we could work towards making him feel more comfortable and set him up for success if we were to travel in the future. So fast forward to late fall, they invited us to be on the show again. And we had worked really hard on crate training and traveling, and him being okay being away from me for a couple hours at a time. And so all the things that are, you know, really great things to work on with your dog anyways. But when we were asked, I was able to accept the offer without having to be worried that it would put him through an uncomfortable situation. So one of the highlights, honestly, for me was making it to New York. It was probably more challenging for me to be away from him for that amount of time, but he was totally fine. In fact, he absolutely loved it from the moment we stepped foot in New York. He was living his best life.
Really?
It's so funny. He loves the city life. He loves going to the bathroom in the city. He loves eating weird stuff off the streets in the city.
Well, yeah.
He wants to say hi to every single person he encounters. So he just, you know, it was a absolutely just once in a lifetime kind of trip for my husband and Darrell and I.
Oh, that is so cool. And man, the three of you together are doing a lot of amazing things, you know, helping the Alzheimer's Association by spreading awareness. Tell us about some of the different activities that he does to help out with that cause specifically.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, he is the office dog, so he comes with me to the office. We work from home 3 days a week, but I go into the office and he comes with me now about once a week, or twice a week, depending on the week. But when we first started our skateboarding, we had a coworker that actually introduced us to a local news station and had us do some skateboarding to raise awareness for Alzheimer's. And from there, each year we've done different events to help raise funds and awareness for Alzheimer's research, care, and support. And this year, in addition to learning a trick a day, we're actually trying to find 101 dogs to join our team. And doing some local dog events, doing some online fun dog events, and just really trying to spread awareness to something that is really challenging and scary for people to talk to. In a more low-key, friendly way.
Okay, well, that is amazing work. So thank you for what you're doing there. Earlier, this was so fun. We had a chance to see some of Darrell's tricks. So let's take a look. All right, so you and Darrell have some tricks here to show our audience. So we'll go ahead and give you the floor. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Hailey Adair and Darrel the Doge.
All right, ready? Get this. One hit in it. All the way, man. Woo!
That was So cute.
Awesome.
Very well done, Darrel.
Yeah, you want to try another one? All the
There
way.
he goes.
Yes, good.
Shoots stars.
Good job. All right,
That was
and then
amazing.
one of our other favorite tricks to do is, I guess you could call it a sport,
Okay.
but we love to dance as well.
Oh.
Ready? Okay. Yes, good boy.
That is so cute.
Yes, good job. Good boy. Yeah, good job.
Way to go, Darrel. He's better than most people that I know at dancing.
I
so
mean-
that's pretty good.
Definitely better at me than dancing, that's for sure.
I think the two of you together are the perfect pair.
Oh, I agree. Thank you.
All right, and wrapping things up here, you have to tell us, how can our audience follow Darrel's journey and your work with the Alzheimer's Association?
You can follow Darrel and I sometimes
Mhm.
on all the socials at Darrel the Doge, and that's dog with an E at the end.
Okay.
And you can follow our journey with Alzheimer's and how to participate in some of our events on our page. We have it linked in bio. Send me a DM if you want to get involved. We're hoping to get people from all across the nation involved.
Well, we've been talking with Hailey Adair and enjoying the talents of her pup, Darrel the Doge. They're joining us from Seattle, Washington. Thank you both so much for joining us today and for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching this Dog Mom News clip. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more awesome and informative Dog Mom News content. And while you're at it, ring the bell so that you can find out about more content in real time. You don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, everyone.